If a woman is constantly picking fights right when things are calm and peaceful, that's not a communication issue. That is a control pattern. And if you keep treating it like a normal relationship argument, you will stay trapped for years trying to be fair and reasonable with someone who's not playing fair. I'm Lise Leblanc, and I work with men who are trying to recover from narcissistic relationship dynamics. Men who are exhausted, confused, second guessing themselves, and stuck in fights that come out of nowhere and never actually resolve anything. And here's how it works when it comes to a female covert narcissist. She doesn't start fights because she's trying to fix something. She starts fights because it gives her something. It gives her power, leverage, freedom from accountability, emotional dominance. So the fight's never what she says it's about. It's got a hidden agenda. And in today's video, I'm going to give you 7 potential motives behind the fight so that you can start seeing the pattern, stop taking the bait, and start reading the situation accurately. Stay to the end because the last reason explains why you always feel like you're being tested, studied, and set up. Before we jump in, let me just say that anyone can do some of these things on occasion. But when this happens consistently and predictably as a pattern, it's no longer about conflict, it's about control. Number 1, she picks fights to offload her negative emotions onto you. A covert narcissist can't sit with uncomfortable feelings for long. Insecurity, envy, anger, anxiety, these emotions build pressure inside of her. So she starts a fight so she can discharge that pressure into your body and into your mind and out of hers. So if she can make you feel guilty, she gets relief. If she can make you feel wrong, she feels right. If she can make you feel anxious, she feels safer and more in control. So the fight isn't a misunderstanding. It's an offloading of those negative emotions disguised as a conversation. And the goal is simple: to make herself feel better and to feel like she's back in control. Number 2, she picks fights because she's envious of your peace and your joy. So, if you have a moment of feeling happy, relaxed, excited, feeling confident and at ease, that alone can trigger a fight. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your happiness and optimism trigger something in her. Envy, agitation. If she can't feel peace and happiness, you're not allowed to either. And the quickest way to shut that down is to start an argument and collapse your positive emotional state. For her, peace doesn't even feel good. It feels flat, empty, like an unbearable void. So she creates drama to spike emotional intensity, accusations, emotional emergencies, anything that stimulates an emotional charge, because at least then she feels something. So if you notice that every time you're feeling happy, confident, grounded, she launches an attack about something vague, like she didn't like your tone, or she feels dismissed, or you humiliated her, just know what's happening. The issue is not the issue. The issue is that you're at peace, and the fight is about destroying your happiness and pulling you back into the familiar role of being miserable with her, managing her emotional state, surrendering your peace so she can feel somewhat regulated again. Number 3, she picks fights to punish you for being independent. So let's say you're enjoying a moment on your own or with someone else, or you make a minor decision without her approval, or you don't chase or beg when she withdraws, or you don't collapse into guilt or shame when she devalues you. She experiences that as a loss of leverage. So she starts a fight to reassert emotional dominance. If she's an overt narcissist, she explodes in rage right away. If she's covert, she may wait and punish you later, storing her resentment and releasing it slowly over time in passive aggressive ways when you least expect it. Either way, you will learn that your freedom and your independence has consequences. And over time, you learn to stay small, to stay apologetic, and to orbit her at all times just to keep the peace, while Your needs get pushed down further and further, your self-esteem shrinks, and you become more and more dependent on her for your psychological survival. Number 4, she picks fights to test your loyalty. She wants to know if you'll prioritize her needs over your own needs, your own values, your own goals, boundaries. So she picks fights when she sees you putting time, energy, or effort into anything or anyone that is not her. Your friends, your kids, your health, your purpose. And the only way to prove your loyalty is to cancel your plans, cave on your boundaries, cut out everyone and everything that matters to you. So the fight is a compliance test because every time you sacrifice something or someone important to you, you are proving something to her that she can manufacture a loyalty crisis on command, and you will respond by isolating yourself, shrinking yourself, and prioritizing her above your own needs, values, and even your own identity. Number 5, she picks fights to deflect from her manipulation and abuse. Because when you're upset, confused, or defending yourself, you're not noticing her lies, financial abuse, cheating, triangulation. You're not connecting dots or holding her accountable. Drama keeps you off balance. And while you're off balance, distracted, dysregulated, you're not paying attention to your logic, your instincts. So if she starts fights right as you're catching a contradiction, demanding answers, or setting boundaries or consequences, and suddenly you find yourself in a circular argument about your own character and your behavior, then the fight is likely a diversion to destabilize you and deflect the spotlight off of themselves and onto you. Now, I often get asked if she's doing these things on purpose. And my answer is that sometimes it's calculated and sometimes it's an automatic conditioned response. Covert narcissists often develop these traits in response to early emotional abuse, often from a narcissistic parent. These behaviors become deep psychological defense mechanisms, a way to survive emotionally and protect a fragile ego. But even if trauma and genetics explain the pattern, it doesn't excuse it. If she can't see it, take ownership of it, or even care that she's hurting others, and she can't get help, then other people deserve to know and be warned, not used as collateral damage. Number 6, she uses fights to create a narrative where she's the victim in order to justify her betrayals. A covert narcissist will often create conflict to give herself a permission slip. So she starts a fight, escalates something minor, and reframes the relationship as unsafe, neglectful, or emotionally abusive so she can justify disappearing for hours or days, reconnecting with an ex, or testing a new supply. All while acting morally superior because now she's not betraying you, she's protecting herself from you. Sometimes she'll even engineer a temporary breakup. I'm done, blocking you, going silent just long enough to pursue someone else, then come back as if nothing happened. And in her mind, you were broken up, so it doesn't count. And if you confront her on it later, she doesn't address her behavior. She points back to the fight as the foundation for why she did what she did. Now it's not about her lying or cheating. Now it's about you not meeting her needs and not being able to trust you. So the fight is a premeditated strategy that creates space for her to get attention, validation, and keep her options open elsewhere without any accountability. And that's how she uses fights to turn betrayal into self-defense. My next video is exactly on this topic and how this tactic works. So subscribe and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss it. Number 7, she picks fights to study you and map your weaknesses. So right from the start, she's watching you like a strategist watches you. She wants to know what makes you cave, what makes you over-explain, what makes you panic, what makes you apologize, what makes you feel guilty, what makes you feel shameful, what makes you give up your boundaries. And so she's starting fights as an experiment. She pushes, then observes. She withdraws, then observes. She accuses, then observes. She is collecting data. She studies what matters to you, what makes you tick, what pushes you over the edge. And then weaponizes that information. If you are still trying to understand a covert narcissist through the lens of a normal person, you will stay stuck and confused forever. So you need to understand that a covert narcissist is not fighting to resolve and repair things. She is not fighting for connection. She's fighting to steal your joy, distract you, punish your independence, create stimulation, regain dominance, extract resources, and study you so that she knows exactly what buttons to push to get the reaction she wants. And that's why you keep thinking, if I could just explain myself better, she'd understand. But the truth is, she does understand. She's just benefiting from keeping you confused, defensive, and emotionally dysregulated. Covert narcissists feel very, very vulnerable when they can't control a situation and their main source of supply. So she fights to get that sense of control back. And when you can see her motives, you can stop debating the content. You can stop defending yourself against every accusation, and you start protecting your clarity, your nervous system, and your future. If you want a structured path to break the trauma bond and get control over your life, my Toxic Relationship Recovery Program is designed specifically for men who are coming out of narcissistic relationship dynamics, and it will give you the framework and the language and the tools to stop reacting and start being a leader in your own life again.